May the force be with you, and welcome to Random Packet Loss. My name is Kieran Maxey, and today we are watching a game from round 3 at the Huddersfield Regional at IQ Games. Thank you once again to IQ Games for putting on such a fantastic tournament. And yes, as I've said in previous videos, this is the last regional before the updated Most Wanted list. So both these decks are a bit of a relic of the past. We can keep this video as record, which we can show to our grandchildren. Say, yes, once upon a time you could just put 3 agendas in your NEH deck, which basically could win the game by themselves. And yes, it was that bullshit. Anyway, and so on the left we have Phil playing Near Earth Hub. And on the right we have, I think it was Stephen playing Whizzard. So yes, this is the... yeah, let's face it, the most common matchup of the previous meta. Most likely the 2 strongest decks. I'm not sure where to count the dodgy prison decks in that whole thing, but certainly they are probably the 2 most popular decks of the meta. So, yes, where were we? So it looks like we're just going to get some installs from NEH. So as usual, I mean, I think the best play against Whizzard is to install 3 things. But... ooh, yeah, so this seems to be quite a common play. Maybe in these videos seems to be install 2 remotes and then nice R&D. I'm again not sure about that, but I'm quite a spammy guy, so I just think install 3, sod R&D. If they install medium, I don't care. But at the very least, he's managed to tax Whizzard 2 credits for San, and don't you res the pad campaign? I think you res the pad campaign. I don't know. Maybe he's just hoping to overwhelm Whizzard with the assets before he starts resing, because otherwise you are losing credits. I suppose if you think that the pad campaign is going to be trashed next turn, then yeah, okay, I can kind of see not resing it now, because otherwise Whizzard's just going to trash it. And you've lost a credit. But hopefully Jackson has set Phil up with all the assets he needs to beat the nasty Wiz. You have to apologise if I seem on the side of the corp in these games, but I was I had a deep love for NBN asset spam, so I kind of I empathise more with the corp sides of these games. But yeah, looks like we're just going to get just some bit of central pressure from Stephen. And yeah, just start building some data sucker counters. And yeah, data suckers are just bonkers in these stumble decks. Can often seem like the cutlery is what's doing it for you, but actually just once you've got data suckers and parasites, you're just rolling. But it looks like, yeah, that pad is going to get trashed, so yeah, you really want to... So at the very least, Whizzard has been taxed slightly, but really you want to start really spamming them out to force Whizzard to start having to trash more than one a turn, really. Well, okay, so there's 2 assets. That's fine, I guess. So we're going to get a run. Okay, so well, at the very least these Sansans are at least slightly taxing. That means he gets to keep the DBS. But hasn't really got any econ, like if he reses that. Yeah, I don't know if he res that. He tempted not to and just kind of try and spam out some more assets next turn. I think you leave the day business show and just try and find some economy, and then just leave it there as something you can res. or either that or just make Whizzard trash it. So, but you really need to be getting multiple, like really getting multiple assets out. If Whizzard can keep on top of you by only trashing one asset a turn, you're in serious trouble. Oh, this is bad for NEH, because now Whizzard is just going to trash the day business show, I imagine. And yeah, you just kind of haven't got much. Okay, and here's Liberated, so Whizzard is now sorted for economy. Whizzard doesn't even have to trash day business show. I think you do, just to make sure, just because, you know, you've got those 3 Whizzard credits each turn. So he's not going to trash it, which again maybe is fine. He's got Liberated money, so yeah. But he's going to Whizzard day business show, which yeah is going to set him back on econ. I guess waiting for Phil to res it means that and it's just taxing NEH by just trashing the assets as soon as they get resed. This is kind of why Mumba Temple's such a good card, that it takes away this horrendous tax from resing. Because resing pad campaigns and Day Business Show and Turtlebacks can actually be huge if you're not really set up for it. I mean, if you're only on 3 credits, like, if you haven't got your stuff already resed, it can be a huge tempo hit. Yeah, see, I think, yeah, so now, and you've got no assets again, and the fact is, if Whizzard can trash all your assets, you're an asset-based deck, like, you can't survive that. You just can't do it. I mean, if you cannot, yeah, start icing assets is not the worst plan in the world, because it allows you to just keep some economy going, even if you just ice up 1 Mumba Temple or 1 Turtlebacks or something, just to, yeah, just to keep your economy going a little bit. So we're getting another install. So yeah, and yeah, this is my problem here, that you've installed 1 asset. Whizzard can trash 1 asset a turn. I guess you're taxing Whizzard to click, but not much else. Oh yeah, that's going. And employee strike. Yeah, kind of might as well, I think. If NEH is struggling for assets, just turning off that extra draw each turn is, yeah, it's going to do work. Okay, so we're going to store in the server. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like Phil is having a bad draw this game. Although Stephen has trashed a lot of stuff. I mean, the advantage of all this is that Stephen has not really advanced his board state very much at all. I mean, he hasn't got a wild side down or anything really. Or any sort of breakers, but again, he's trashed a lot of Phil's cards, so I think that Stephen is winning in this matchup. So you're going to get well on archives, I imagine just a Pop Jackson. There's a CVS in there, so you're not going to farm counters. Okay, and there's not going to be a Jackson Pop, so... Yeah, HQ seems like a good place to be. Ooh, Turnpike. Turnpike's a good card. I I've ended up cutting it a lot, but it's a solid card, especially in a meta where tags just matter. Ooh, and there's a Beal. So... I mean, unfortunately that Turnpike is a pain in the arse, because otherwise you can't just want to hit HQ here, because, I mean, my general response to hitting an agenda first try out of HQ is maybe there are more. I mean, you're certainly not going to access the same card again, so it's usually a good plan, but yeah, Turnpike is just really taxing. Even with Faust, it's a credit in 2 cards. It's actually... yeah. So, yeah, it feels kind of signalling that there's agendas in HQ. It's certainly not somewhere that you want Stephen to run. I think as Stephen here, you're in a pretty good position just to, you know, draw and set up and just wait for Phil to do something. I mean, this is the thing with... like, if the Corp isn't doing anything, then the runner's kind of winning. Because the game gets kind of progressively worse for the Corp as it goes on, usually. Because, you know, the agenda density just gets higher and higher unless they're scored. And the runner can just build up to just break through any ice. The museum decks, prison decks, kind of subvert this a little bit, which is kind of why I think a lot of people have a problem with them, because they do kind of subvert this kind of innate thing in Netrunner that, as the Corp, you kind of need to get your act together. But I mean... yeah, Stephen can just kind of comfortably check everything, really. Yeah, that's gone. At the very least, Phil has enough money to say Biotic Act out an Astro. The bad news is that there's a turntable. Which means that if... the classic Whizzard move, I feel, is to let the Corp... like, spend all their money scoring out an Astro and then install medium and just hit R&D while they have no money and just turntable, like, ideally a 15 minutes over for their Astro and just, yeah, it's brutal. I've had many a game which has gone like that, and it's just so demoralising, because that first Astro is normally the hardest part of NEH, and just to have it taken away for you, especially if you're given like a 1-pointer instead, it is just tragic. Okay, so we've got a David, so no, Raphael's not going to do much. Ooh, Eli. That is a tough card to find room for in NEH at the moment. I mean, it's a extraordinarily good piece of ice. I mean, Eli, there's a reason it's on the most wanted list. It is just ridiculously good. But I mean, this does make me. This kind of makes me think that Phil is not running Biotic, because I can't think what else you cut, unless he's cut like turtle backs or something. It's possible, but certainly, I mean, yeah, it's certainly an interesting card to have in NEH. But you know, as I say, fantastic piece of ice. It's basically good in anything you put it in. Okay, so check the emote. Ooh, remember City Hall. So that is a card I quite like in NEH, although I recently went back to Turtles, but it's quite good for just spamming out Mumma Temples, although I tend to, for this very reason, like to just res it and spam out Temples as soon as I can. kind of feel you want to raise this ice just to start taxing runs. I mean, Phil's got some money now. So, yeah, I mean, he seems just going to check everything. Okay, yeah, I mean, that's a fine play. It purges, it wastes another click. But it's not really getting you much closer to winning is the problem. None of this is really getting Phil any closer to winning the game. Yeah, there's more just building up econ on Stephen's side. You really just want to... I mean, it's kind of a shame that he hasn't seen Wildside at this point, because you really want that just to power your draw. But yeah, once he's got that, then he can just, you know, so he draws into a Wildside, draws into a medium. Yeah, he just sorts to draw into a knifed, and just... I know there's a power set on the Eli, but that's a pain in the arse. Because that's going to take a while, really. It's... I guess really you want to save the knife for the wraparound. I guess a good play would be to manage to get into HQ a couple of times, meanwhile letting Eli tick up. Then if you can knifed R&D, preferably with a medium in play, data sucker down the Eli and then break the wraparound and just clear R&D, that would be a very good play for Whizzard. Really, I find with Whizzard it kind of... You want to get to the point where you've killed all the ice and R&D, you have a data sucker out and a medium, and then you can just run R&D continuously, building up data sucker counters and medium counters. And at that point, it's very hard to stop you, because anything you see, you can just parasite with all the data sucker counters you've just made. So... Oh, so we have the Wild Cakes engine online now. So we have archives. I'm not quite sure about that. I mean, he's not. He's already not worried about data suckers because there's a cyberdex in there, so he can't farm counters off that. Also, here's Faust. Ooh, double turnpike. I mean, you can probably deal with it, but it's 4 cards and 2 credits. Ugh. Unless you want to start trying to pay through the traces or clearing the tags. It's just, ugh. Oh yeah, so he's gonna lose a credit, take a tag, and then clear the tag. That is, ugh. You really want a power slide to deal with those. Again, Turnpike is just a really solid piece of ice in a Faust meta. Of course, it may be less good now because, I say, with the most wanted list, dedicated Faust decks are harder to run. But yeah, just in this against Faust, it's just solid, especially in a meta which relies heavily on resources. Just so good. So as Whizzard here, I mean, he's still not under very much pressure at the moment. NEH again isn't really doing anything to move towards winning. Now this could change if there's a biotic in Phil's deck. That changes things because then you can just squat the biotic. Okay, so now we're getting a fast track for an Astro. So this would suggest to me that there's a biotic in hand, but which he can score out next turn. I mean, HQ is taxing enough now that making more than one run on HQ just feels awful. So, honestly, I'm tempted as Phil as Stephen, just to let Phil score the Astro, and then so next turn score the Astro, go low on money if he's using like Biotic or something like that. Then the Eli will die, run R&D, hope preferably knifed R&D, preferably with a medium, and just try and turntable the Astro. I think that's my favourite play at the moment, because trying to run HQ, it's just so taxing. I mean, maybe you go in there once if you have spare cards, but I mean, you could also fork HQ. That's also a valid play. Yeah, that's also good. I like that. So he's just going to take the tag and lose the credit to get the data sucker. Trash the Sansan. Yeah. Yeah, good. So, well, I don't think he's going to go in again because he has the tag he has to clear and he can't float that. I don't know how many clicks he's got left. Again, I don't think you care about the Astro. Like, it'd be the first agenda. It's just not worth it. And next turn, you just I'm hoping he's, well, I say hoping. I'm presuming that Stephen's got a knife in hand, because if he has, then R&D is just mincemeat. Oh, interesting. So now the Eli's dead. Okay, so I think if you got a medium in hand, you just bollock R&D. I mean, or just do that. That's also completely fine. Especially now that you're getting data sucker tokens. But, well, good time to have it, I guess. Do you run again? Maybe, yeah. Yeah, I think you run again. May as well. Ooh. Again, you don't care. If one is an Astro, you just don't care, because he spent his whole turn scoring the bloody thing. And then you can just run R&D, hopefully draw into a medium, and just... The SA turntable is just so strong against NEH. It's... yeah. I'm not sure what Phil's out is here. It is possible. Like, Phil could pull this back if he can. So he's not scoring the Astro. So maybe it's not on the table. But he's still not got anything to defend R&D, which is just horrible against Whizzard. So yep, check R&D. Who needs medium? You can just run multiple times. Yeah. Yeah, there we go, and that's game. That was, yeah, Whizzard just came on top there. It's a tough matchup on both sides, but yeah, Whizzard just kind of kept on top of the assets and just kept on top of the money, trashed all the ice, and just did its thing. So yeah, that was very well played by Stephen there. So, yes, this has been Random Packet Loss. I've been Keir Maxey, and thank you for watching.